Well, hello there. Do you enjoy watching Game of Thrones but need me to impose my book snob negativity onto your viewing experience? Well then this video is for you, because I have the official Game of Thrones Season 8 companion bingo card. Salty Book Reader Edition. Working title. Let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so first up we have veteran actor returns to make a fan servicey appearance in a flashback or dream. So we're talking Charles Dance, Michelle Fairley, Sean Bean, those guys. I actually don't mind this one so much because for me it hits me right in the remember when this show used to be good nostalgia. Next up is fan favorite character that died in a previous season comes back as a White Walker. My guess is it's going to be Hodor, but we'll see. The Dothraki and the Wildlings will instantly become friends. So this is a really D&D move, but personally I hope that this doesn't happen, because grouping them into one homogenous warrior tribe does kind of erase the unique perspective of the Dothraki, who, unlike the Wildlings and everyone else, could just go back to Essos if they wanted to. Like, they could just leave, right? Like, this isn't really their fight. They could just go home if they wanted to be safe, but they're staying and fighting out of a higher calling of loyalty to Daenerys. Like, when you think about it, the Dothraki are the only ones who are actually choosing this fight. So I think it's kind of a shame to leave that unexamined, but the writers aren't really known for their subtle takes, so I think that this is probably just going to be a vehicle for really weak, bro-y humor. Speaking of which, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and make exhausted eunuch jokes the free space. There we go. At least 80% of the scenes are woefully underlit. Time and space are meaningless. Yeah, if the teleporting pissed you off last season, it's only gonna get like 10 times worse this season with how much they have to wrap up, I guarantee it. Female characters are catty with each other for little to no reason. Yeah. This show doesn't really know how to write female relationships. Normally I wouldn't point out something this gender specific in the writing because honestly a lot of the male relationships aren't really that much better, but when you publicly go out of your way to tell people that your show has the best written female characters on TV, it's kind of a bad look when you default to infantilizing all of their interactions with each other. Whites can be killed by conventional weapons. Ice Dragon versus Fire Dragon fight that actually looks amazing. Yeah, that's right. You thought that this was gonna be all cynicism, but I actually have an enormous amount of respect for the FX team on this show. I think they do an incredible job. I think it's not a huge stretch to theorize that the final season is actually going to benefit from extended battle scenes because the more time the characters spend fighting each other, the less time D&D can make words come out of their mouths. In the same vein as Ice vs. Fire Dragon, I actually think that we're going to see Undead Summer fight Ghost. 2019 is the year that Direwolves are actually going to do something on this show. Literally all of Bran's dialogue is just exposition. You know, a lot of people are saying that Bran is going to die this season, but I'm here to drop a bomb on you that Bran as a character is already dead. Tyrion gets a disproportionate amount of screen time for what he actually does. That was almost the free space. Sansa repeatedly shows that she's a better leader than Jon. Actually, you know what? In fact, I'm gonna up this and say that everyone shows that they're a better leader than Jon. Because the thing about Jon in the show is that he's effective as a leader in a way that you're told and not shown. Case in point where Jon was given credit for winning the Battle of the Bastards, even though Sansa pretty objectively bailed him out. Rhaegar and Lyanna's annulment is never elaborated on further. Those political marriages that they've been telling you are social linchpins of the entire series, yeah. Turns out they can just undo those whenever they want. Oh man, I forgot about this one. Okay, the fact that Rhaegar had 2 sons named Aegon is just never touched on. Although I do think it would be hilarious if it was just never touched on. Although I do think it would be hilarious if Jon went up to people like, yeah, I'm Aegon, I'm Rhaegar's son. And then they were like, no, that's not possible. Aegon's son was killed by the Mountain as a baby. And he's like, oh yeah, no, sorry, I'm just Rhaegar's other son named Aegon. And then it turns into like this 5-minute scene where all the characters try to wrap their brains around how Rhaegar just didn't know how naming children worked. Ooh, okay, we see Storm's End. Okay, this is my big self-indulgence pick, but you guys know me. I'm willing to forgive a lot in the name of Baratheon fan service. If we see Storm's End and it looks awesome, it will actually make the entire final season worth it for me. I'm not even joking. Cersei's black-haired child that she had with Robert is finally explained. Okay, I'm actually unironically pulling for you in this case, D&D. I want this weird thing that you seeded in season 1 to come back in some way. Even I dunked on you for it, but honestly, I want to believe that you guys had some sort of original forethought back in season 1. It's like watching a baby deer learn how to walk, like, yay, you did it! The plot grinds to a halt for a sex scene, and finally, the most rage-inducing, out-of-context book quotes. Now, you might be noticing that there's several squares missing here, and I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Kylie and Julia from thefandamentals.com have also made a Season 8 bingo card, and I am now making this a book snob competition to see whose card will be more full by the end of the season. So what I need you guys to do is post in the comments your suggestions, and then I will pick the best 5 to go onto the card. You and I are gonna come together to beat these people who have been nothing but nice to me, and actually they're really cool and you should check out their stuff. Anyways, like and subscribe if you want to see more, consider becoming a patron, and I will see you this week for my review of the first episode of the final season of Game of Thrones. Also, George R. R. Martin recently liked a picture of Renly on Facebook, and it kind of made my year. Who's George R. R. Martin's favorite puppy? You are. Mwah.